Energy work can be fun, fun, fun. Zoom in, zoom out for energy to run. Learn about the parts so we remember we are whole. From the North Pole to 1 foot soul. We'll say some words and we'll take a call. It's the Silly Meridian podcast for one and all. Welcome to the Silly Meridian podcast. This is your host, Silly Sarah, and I have today with me a guest. Her name is Brigitte Visser. She's the founder of Power Soul Healing. She's a light empowerment coach. She's a light language healer, and she's an author of the book Becoming Authentically Me, which is now available on Amazon. So, Brigitte, I do want to hear about this book, but first, I ask all of my guests to rate their obsession level with the meridians of the energy body. And you can say, Sarah, I don't know what those are. Energy, who is she? I don't know. So 1 would be Meridi, what? 5 would be, oh, wait, I think I did hear about those. They're like chakras or something. And 10 would be, Sarah, I love meridians too, and we have that in common. So on a scale from 1 to 10, where are you with the meridians?
10, for sure.
For sure.
I love Meridian.
It.
Yes.
Amazing. Okay. I feel like you and I, maybe we can popularize meridians and make them an international craze. And you've lived in so many different countries. I want to ask you to pick one country that you've lived in, and together we're going to brainstorm some strategies to market meridians to that country and get the whole country so excited about meridians. This is my delusional plan. Are you in? Okay, now I know you've lived in the Netherlands, you've lived in Malaysia, Singapore. Where else have you lived?
I was in Cape Town for 3 months. I lived in Germany. Been to Paris, been to Milan. I lived in Istanbul for some time. Loved it. Lived in New York. Went to Miami. Lived out in St. Petersburg, which I loved. In Florida. Loved it.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely loved it. Yes.
And you're in the UK right now?
No, I left the UK. I'm in Spain now.
What? Okay, we need to pick one country where you think, oh, okay, I think that country would really get into meridians, even if they're not that popular there right now. So off the top of your head, what are you thinking?
We could do Spain, right? Where I'm at is spiritually depleted. There is a void.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, what would be 3 ways that the people of Spain could really get into meridians? Is it about popularizing meridians as a dance craze, a restaurant craze, something to do with culture?
Oh, I like the restaurant craze. I like that idea.
Okay, this is wonderful because some of my favorite meridians have to do with digestion. Stomach meridian, large intestine meridian, spleen meridian. Stomach meridian we love because it helps us digest not just food, but emotions.
Exactly.
Large intestine we love because it's that feeling of completion, literally and metaphorically. And spleen meridian, which I never really thought about as a digestion queen, but then I read Mike Mandel's book, Meridians, Maps of the Soul. And spleen is about nourishment, self-nourishment. So if those 3 meridians could somehow get on a restaurant's menu, sign, advertisements. Okay, we'll keep thinking about it throughout the podcast, and at the end, I'll come back and think, and I'll ask you if you've come up with any ideas to get the meridians into Spanish restaurants.
Okay.
And now I do want to hear about your book. And I want to ask you, Becoming Authentically Me. I love the title. I don't know anything about your book, I'm sorry to say, but let's say my 7-year-old niece, she's not going to read it today because she's quite busy with the book Eloise, but maybe in 10 years' time, why do you think she should read the book?
Since she's already listening to your podcast, she would definitely love this because there's so many channeled messages in there with a lot of, it's sassy, it's spunky, it's fun. I work a lot with the Ascended Master Saint Germain, the Archangel Michael, who's a real rebel, but so is the Ascended Master Saint Germain. He's hilarious. He's funny. And most of them are funny, even though the messages have a serious undertone, but they take the mickey because they say, take life with a pinch of salt. When we grow up, as you know, Sarah, we become very serious about life. When we're kids, we're different. We have that innocence and we still play around. We're very open and susceptible to things, but when we grow up, yeah, like we get stuck in our experiences. But it's also, I talk a lot about in my book about what I've been through, the trauma that I've been through, and everybody goes through different issues, different types of pain, different types of trauma, and it's how we deal with that pain and heal with that pain and heal that pain. Because ultimately we have to take responsibility for our lives. And even though when things happen to us as a child, when we grow up, we still need to take responsibility and allow ourselves to heal. And my first part of the book is very much about, the dawn of time and how we came to exist here. And I talk about Anunnaki, I talk about other galactic races, I talk about Atlantis, Lemuria a little bit. I talk very much about my past lives. And I think your little niece, when she's, in 10 years, she'd just be absorbed in the book. Oh, this is really cool. And she'd be laughing. Because life is all about experiencing and creating, because we are creators, but life's an experiment to experience. And we often forget that because we get so stuck within our own experiences, our own trauma, that we suffer from that victimhood. But that's because it's so ingrained within society that we can't remember who we are. And that's what life is all about. Life is all about returning to that love for ourselves and each other and understanding that, hey, wait a minute, actually, we are divine alchemists. We can manipulate energy to our will. We can bend it. We just have forgotten how.
There are so many points you just made that I want to dive into. I do want to tell you that, quote, life is an experiment to experience. That might go on the thumbnail for this podcast because I love that. It takes the weighty seriousness out of it if we think of it just as this is an experiment. And like you said, we can bend it. I love that verb, bending reality. I have 2 questions for you. The first question is about channeling, and the second question is about healing. When I used to hear the word channeling or channelers, I would think, ooh, woo woo, scary. I don't want to touch that. That sounds too out there for me.
Yes.
But then I stumbled on the YouTubes of Abraham Hicks. And it's a good thing that I didn't know that those were called channeled messages, because I wouldn't have clicked on them otherwise. I'm so addicted. I feel like the messages from Abraham Hicks that you can find on free for YouTube, it's amazing, are so empowering, so revolutionary. And every day when I listen to them, I think, oh, life can be really fun. I like this. So I highly encourage everyone to check out Abraham Hicks. can just type it into YouTube and see how it goes. And then from there, you might get into the other people that you were talking about. And if you think about channeled messages as just, oh, we take it for granted when artists have muses or divine inspiration, or suddenly we come up with a brilliant idea out of nowhere. So when you think about it in that way, channeled messages do make sense to me. I have another question for you because you said the word healing, and I'm gathering definitions of what is healing, because that's another word where I used to feel like, oh, healing. It sounds hard. It sounds effortful. It sounds dry. It sounds boring. And it sounds like a lot of work. But then I thought, wait, maybe there is a way to reframe this. Healing, a few of the definitions that I've come across that I like. Healing as a growth period. I like that because it gives me something to do with the healing process. Healing as something incongruent becoming congruent. And healing as something fractured, or the illusion of it being fractured, becoming whole.
Yes.
So do you have a personal definition of healing that you like?
Yeah, this is something that Saint Germain came up with. It's very powerful for me. And he says, if you cannot heal yourself, how can you ever love yourself? And if you cannot love yourself, how can you ever heal yourself? The two go hand in hand.
The chicken and the egg.
Good point.
It's much easier for me to work on self-love than healing, because healing seems so abstract. But I know the feeling of love whenever I look at a pretty cat or I hear a good piece of music. I know what the feeling of love is. So self-love is an easy one for me. Healing, I think, oh no, there's like a long to-do list of things I have to do. I have to drink water and do my breath work and my meditations, and I have to exercise and I have to do all these things. But actually, if we just think of healing as self-love, that makes it easier. So thank you for that. I'm going to take that with me.
Yeah, it makes it easier. It does. And, regardless of what we go through, it doesn't matter how you heal. I always say, look, if you're going to keep sitting on the couch and expect a fairy godmother to wave a magic wand because you do not feel peachy in your own skin, it ain't going to happen. You have to do the work. If you want to change your life, you've got to change your mindset. You've got to get out of your own way.
I feel like you're talking to my past self, because lying on the couch did feel productive, especially after spine surgery when I was told not to move, and resting did seem like my mission. But lying on the couch, what else can we do? We can be working on our mindset, like you're saying, and that can be very productive. So if we're not physically able to exercise or do much mobility work, it is a good time to be doing mindset work.
Yes.
So what is your favorite way to meditate?
Oh, that's a good one. That's easy. So I like to listen. I like to listen to several people, but I also have like an exercise. I love David G on YouTube.
I am not familiar with that name.
You will love him. So it's David and then J.I. And he does meditations dealing with anxiety, fear, inspiration, intent, planting seeds of manifestation, everything across the board. And he will start with the breath work, and then he will often have a mantra that you just repeat. And then people will say, yeah, but I can't meditate. And it's all about going back to the breath. Just, when you realize that you're not focusing on the breath, it's just going back to the breath. But there is one exercise that I really like that is powerful. And it's through this guy on Mind Valley called Jeffrey Allen.
Mind Valley. Sorry to interrupt. It's my favorite place. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, so Jeffrey Allen does a course called Duality.
Oh, okay. Keep going. I'm so excited.
And was the only reason I signed up for it, because there was something about this guy that spoke to me. And he's got the most basic, simple exercises. I'm like nearly halfway through. But he says to quieten your mind. It's like just sit behind your eyes. And I imagine sitting on a couch behind my eyes. And if I need to go higher, as he says, then I just go one level up. I'm sitting in between the plants, so to speak. But he says you need to dial down the volume in your head. And so you've got to dial down in your head, and you just turn down the volume. And then you just keep breathing in and out. And you go to your root chakra, which is at the base of your spine. And you just imagine roots growing all the way, or a beam of light all the way down through all the layers of the earth and wrap it around the center of the earth. And I imagine the core of the earth as a beautiful, luminous, crystal. And you wrap it around, and then you go back up. That light travels back up to your root chakra, and it goes through your body. And you just imagine that light expanding in your energy field. And as you do that, you feel very much present within your body, but also in the present moment. Because we often look to the future, or we remain in the past. But it's in the now, in the very now, that is where you create better tomorrows.
I have so much to say about this. Jeffrey Allen changed my life completely. It was about a year ago that I was watching YouTube and an ad came up with Jeffrey Allen's face. And he was doing these weird things with his hands. And I thought, I want to do that. That looks cool. I've never seen anyone else do that. And he was talking about how you, speaking to me, are probably doing everything right in the physical plane. And I thought, oh, goody, I'm doing it right. I'm so happy. But what about your energy plane?
Yes,
and I thought, ruh-roh, I'm not working on my energy plane. You got me, Jeffrey Allen. And so I took a few repetitions of seeing that ad pop up over and over again. And the algorithm really knows what it's doing.
And I know.
I said, okay, maybe I do want to learn all about this.
Yeah.
So I did the duality course. And then I did the second course, which is called Unlocking Transcendence.
Yes, I've got that one also.
Yes. But I would encourage everyone to do it the other way around. And the reason is the FAQs, the question and answer segments in the Unlocking Transcendence program, I feel like answered so many questions I had that could have been really helpful if I then did duality subsequently.
Okay.
And this might be an unpopular opinion, and maybe Jeffrey Allen would say himself, do it the other way. I don't know. But I felt like, first of all, if you're doing the Unlocking Transcendence course, don't skip the FAQs, the question answer segments, because I thought, oh, he's answering all of life's questions, all of life's most important questions. Why isn't this required course content for every human? I don't know. So the two courses are on mindvalley.com. I highly encourage the listeners to check it out. The last time I checked, I think it's only $30 a month. They really lowered their prices.
Yeah, I did it for a year.
Yes. When I signed up last year, it was more expensive. So it's a good time to sign up now. Check out Jeffrey Allen's courses because I've taken a dozen of them, and Jeffrey Allen's are still my favorite. Maybe that's because I did them first, but they will always hold a special place in my heart. And speaking of the heart, I was so interested to hear you say you've been practicing being right behind your eyes, because so many meditation teachers speak about being in your heart space. But Jeffrey Allen really goes into where are you in your head space? And it's so valuable. So as you were saying, he suggests when you're communicating with someone, when you really want to feel present, feel like you are right behind your eyes. And that really helps you focus, helps you be present. But if you want to collect your thoughts, you can go into the center of your head. And this is
Yes.
where I have been practicing probably the last 9 months or so. I've been really enjoying being in the center of my head. And people may be wondering, what are they talking about? Like, where are you in your body? I don't get it. And why is this important? And why should you invest
Yeah.
time in this? Well, being a human can be tough, and it's nice to have something to focus on of where am I in my body, and that does help me get through the day.
Yeah.
So, the third place he talks about is being up at the back of your head, and I think this is
Yes.
what you were alluding to
Yes.
when you want to look down on your thoughts to get some perspective. And then we remember, I am not my thoughts because I'm looking down on my thoughts. So these thoughts have a much less weighty import if I can detach from them and get some distance from them. So I feel like how this links to the meridians is if you want to connect with heart meridian, definitely get down into your rib cage, get down into your heart, listen to your pulse, be down there. But if you want one of the more thinkier, more brilliant meridians on your side, where you really want to be using your brain, then like stomach meridian, I feel like is a very intelligent meridian. Then be up in your head, be in the center of your head, be behind your eyes, or be looking down on your thoughts. Now, what stomach has to do with thinking? I think of stomach as another brain, and there is that enteric nervous system
Technically, you're
helping
right.
us.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's a good
right?
point. Yes.
So, heart meridian, get down into your rib cage. Stomach meridian, get into your head. That doesn't make
Yes.
sense, Sarah. Well, just try it. See what happens and let me know. And everyone, please do go to mindvalley.com. Check out Jeffrey Allen's courses before or after buying Brigitta's book. Now, because we talked about courses, I also want to talk about books. Is there a book, maybe it was a self-help book, maybe it was a memoir, maybe it was even a novel that really transformed your life? And is there a book that's coming to mind that you want to share with the listeners?
What is a couple? Gosh. The
It is hard
Alchemist.
to pick.
You
The
know, The Alchemist by
Alchemist.
Paulo Coelho. And that was one of the first books I read, and I read it several times. I loved it. Such a simple story.
I
But
should
very, very,
return to that because when I was about 19 years old, my best friend gave me a copy of that book and she said, "You must read it, this."
yes.
And because she said it with so much vigorous intent, I thought, I don't know about this. It seems like something that I'll have to really like think about and give her feedback on. And I got so overwhelmed that I never read it and I just gave it back to her. But now I should really revisit it because it's the things that I had the most resistance to that now are helping me the most.
Yeah.
So this will probably be a good one for me to pick up. Thank you for that.
Yes, and it's not a big book. There are others that I've read which are very, very different. Like I think it's One Last Time by John Edwards. And he's a medium, and I really cried with that book. I absolutely loved it. The Essenes, about the life of Jesus Christ, very powerful. It's all channeled. Loved that book as well. Any book by Saint Germain, written by what's his name? Godfrey Ray King. Very powerful.
Amazing. Sometimes I just will YouTube a violet flame frequency
Yes.
and just listen to the music. And I don't often return to the audio books about Saint Germain, but I often return to the violet flame frequency music just to put that
Yeah.
on. So
There. Can I just say something? There is a really simple exercise. It's in my book as well. It's so powerful. If you know the emotional freedom technique, which is all about tapping, it's very
sure.
simple. So you just repeat, I am a being of violet fire and the purity God desires. And you keep repeating that. And, on all the points. And by the end of it, you're on fire.
Oh, what would you say to someone who's not sure if they believe in God, me, but you have another word that you could insert there? Do you have some
Yes.
good synonyms in mind?
Or you're not a creator?
Well, I like the words universe. I like
Yes.
Tao. I like source.
Yes,
Uh,
source energy. I call it that too.
yes. Oh, that reminds me when you were talking about grounding yourself,
Yes.
feeling like you're growing roots down into the earth. I have to
Yes.
tell you that part of the Jeffrey Allen course I really had struggled with
Me
because
too, in the beginning.
I'm a very good visualizer, so I can visualize my buttocks growing tree roots into the earth. I can visualize a light beam shooting down into the earth, or I can just visualize energy. However, then I feel so tethered to the earth and I feel trapped. So I feel like gravity is really pulling me down in an uncomfy way. And I have to ask myself, is this helpful or do I want to feel weightless and lighter? And it probably depends on the context because if you're
Yeah.
feeling too floaty and too spacey, it would be a really nice feeling to feel more weighted, more grounded, and more rooted. But if you're feeling dragged down by gravity, which I often feel like, then maybe this is not the imagery for you. I'm talking to myself right now. And
Yeah,
maybe
you
it
are.
is about feeling lighter somehow, getting the weight off of me. Do you have any thoughts about that?
I think if so, I understand where you're coming from, but on this earthly plane, if we want to achieve something and we want to step into our power, it is important to be grounded. Saying that, I also like the cosmic energy that we can fill up through our crown chakra. It's very, very powerful because I always see myself sitting in a temple and bringing that energy down. So if you think you feel too tethered, then combine both energies just to have that leveled out.
That's so fun. And Jeffrey Allen really details so nicely how to run your energy. I love that
Yes.
phrasing, running the energy. And you can have energy coming up from the ground and down into your head,
Yes.
up through the soles of the feet, down through the head. And people may be wondering, oh, that sounds like a lot of stuff to do, a lot of stuff to
It's
think
not.
about, and a lot of like, oh, now I have to practice something new. And I'm already a busy person. I don't know if I could get into this. But I will encourage everyone to just give Jeffrey Allen's course a try because he walks you through it in a very gentle way. So it doesn't feel like new things that are overwhelming.
Yeah, here's a simple one for you. You want to improve your life? Meditate 20 minutes in the morning. You want to have a restful night's sleep? Just meditate 20 minutes at night. What have you got to lose? Yeah, I dare you.
So I got so into meditating, Birgitta, that I meditated for 5 hours a day for 8 months. And, and then I thought, okay, well, I've tried all of these different ways of meditating. I've tried guided
Mhm.
meditations on YouTube. I've tried Zazen. I've tried um, John Kabat-Zinn's chronic pain body scans.
Yeah.
I've done visualizations. I've tried not thinking, just listening to an air conditioning sound.
Yeah.
I've tried visualizing. I've tried just investing time in feeling states. That's what I'm
Uh-huh.
really into right now, generating positive emotions. And there are so many ways to meditate. Now I
Absolutely.
often feel torn because I enjoy them all. I love them all. I never got tired of meditating, even after doing so much of it. So it is hard for me to decide on a daily basis what kind of meditation to do. So usually I just turn on the air conditioning sound on YouTube and I just do that for 20 minutes. I just listen to the sound I try not to think. I just keep listening to the sound. And then I also try to feel happy and satisfied. Why those two emotions? Well, they just seem to keep coming up with brilliant people who say that those are the emotions to practice, because there are a lot of other cool emotions that are fun to integrate into the day, but I'm just narrowing it down to two so I don't feel overwhelmed. I feel happy, I feel satisfied. I feel happy, I feel satisfied. I listen to the air conditioning sound for 20 minutes, and that's how I've been starting my day.
Yeah. Do you know, when I write, I listen often to either 963 hertz or 432 hertz because it gets me into the zone of writing.
Oh, I like that.
Mm. And all you need to do is just go to YouTube, and some of them are several hours long.
Oh.
And 432 hertz is all about rebalancing yourself. It's recentering yourself. It's a universal flow, as I call it.
What I've been releasing on my YouTube channel at Meridian Healer, I have some music tracks for the meridians, and I believe I have one that's 432 hertz. I have affirmations. I have subliminals where you can't hear the affirmations, or I just have the music with no words. So, of those options, what would you want to see more content, or what would you click on? Just the plain music to meditate to, the affirmations where you can hear the words, or the subliminals where you cannot hear the words?
Tough one, huh? 1 and 2. Can I pick more?
Of course, yes. And everyone should check out my YouTube channel at Meridian Healer to check them all out. And I'll see which one gets the most momentum and the most traction, because I think all of those options are helpful. So it's depending on your mood that day and what you're looking to accomplish.
Yes.
Okay, well, we're circling back to the meridians now, and I want to play a meridian game with you.
Okay.
We're going to pick one of the 12 meridians, which is so hard because they're all my favorite. You're my favorite one. You're my favorite one. But we'll pick one of the 12. And then I'll tell you some of the personality attributes of that meridian, because that's what I'm the most into. I mean, there are other people out there who are brilliant at acupressure, acupuncture, but I'm all about personality types. So we will choose one meridian. I'll tell you about the personality, and then we'll both think of a person, alive or dead, who really epitomizes that type of personality trait. We'll see if we think of the same person. Maybe it hasn't happened yet, but it's possible. It might happen today. Yeah. So I want you to pick a number. I was going to have you pick a number from 1 to 12 and see what meridian we got. But we did talk quite a bit about stomach meridian. So let's just go with stomach meridian.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
I'm going to tell you more about stomach meridian, my favorite meridian, but don't tell the other 12, which are also my favorites. Stomach. Stomach is brainy, very good thinker, good focuser, sets goals, puts those goals into action, has a fierce determination to make those goals happen. So probably not a non-striving Buddhist type, much more of a manifester, goal setter with a vision board. And what else does stomach like? Stomach likes digesting all of our emotions and everything that happens to us quickly and completely so that we can keep moving forward toward that next goal. So someone ambitious, someone with big goals in mind, someone who's not afraid to go after what they want, someone who knows what they want. That's hard for me sometimes. And someone very brainy, very intelligent, and probably uses that Jeffrey Allen technique of being in the head and not the heart space. So it could be a politician, could be a pop star, could be a movie star, could be someone, an author or a self-help guru. And when you've thought of your person, let me know.
I'm thinking. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I get, oh, yeah. Yes, okay, yes.
Okay, I have mine. So on the count of 3, we'll shout it out together. 3, 2, 1, go. Bob
Sri Sri
Proctor.
Ravi Shankar.
Bob Proctor.
Oh, Bob Proctor. Yes, I know. I've heard of Bob Proctor. Yes.
What was yours?
Sri Sri Ravi Shankar.
Is that the autobiography of a yogi author, or is that someone else?
He is the founder of the Art of Living Center throughout the world.
Wow.
He is an amazing humanitarian. He has done so much for those in prison, turned their lives around. It's all about, he works very much from the heart space. And he's all about breath work and meditation and how we should be of service to others. An amazingly beautiful soul, very, very humble.
Oh, I love that. Okay, shout out to Stomach Meridian. Thank you for helping everyone. Okay, we will take a chance to plug your book and then we'll wrap up. But before that, I usually circle back to the obsession meter with the Meridians. You were already at a 10 to begin with, so I hope you have not gone down in the ranking. But where are we on a scale of 1 to 10 with obsession?
I'm still there. I'm still there.
And
of course.
Do we have any new ideas on how to popularize the Meridians?
Oh, Meridians are like soul food.
That's
what I wrote.
Perfect. I love it. I love that that was simmering and it came out so beautifully. Thank you for that. Oh, I like that.
I wrote it down.
Soul food. You know, my favorite book about meridians is called Meridians Maps of the Soul by Mike Mandel. It's a must read. So soul food for stomach meridian. Brilliant. I love it. Now we will plug your book, and first I will sing my little jingle here. Plug your course, your site, your book. Meridians will take a look. Tell the listener all your links. Help us grow and help us with our thinks.
I love
Go
that.
for it.
So you want my links first?
Whatever you want the listeners to click on so that they can follow you and learn more.
So I've got my YouTube channel and you'll find a lot of interviews on there, but also my light language healing, whether that's for anxiety, fear, anything else. And they're short. And people always ask me, what the heck is light language? And I'm like, well, it's the language of the soul. That's what it is. Even though your mind cannot comprehend it, the light codes integrate within your body and your soul just beautifully, because your mind doesn't need to understand it. Your mind's often in the way. It's that little ego creeping around. Oh, but what is this? No. What is this? What? You're a weirdo. But these codes are ancient. They're cosmic. They're a cosmic language of love. And that's what we are. At our core, we are love. We've just forgotten, as I said earlier. So yes, you'll find a lot on there on my YouTube channel, which is Power Soul Healing. And then I have my Instagram, which is Universal Light Warriors. And then my website, which is powersoulhealing.com.
Well, everyone should go check out everything that Brigitte just mentioned. Let's support her and her meridians. And I will see you on the next episode. Bye-bye. I decree wellness, and I know it to be so. I command wellness, and I know it to be so. I decree wellness, and I know it to be so. I encode wellness, and I know it to be so.